Hello everyone, I'm going to just give you guys a tour of my layout, something I really haven't done here. This layout started with a 4x4 inch piece of plywood, which is what we're standing in front of right now. This first section right here was the original layout. It used to just go around in that circle, and that was basically it. It had one track on the outside, and then it had a continuous loop on the inside. That is to say, it kept turning tighter and tighter until there was no room to turn anymore. That was the extent of what the layout was back then. Then, of course, a couple of years later, very clearly the Merrill railroading bug had bit me and my father, and we decided to expand. So we got another 4x4 section, which is the section further over here where my roundhouse shop is. We added that to it, and then we built a table. This was originally supported, I should say. The original section here was supported on a bench, actually two benches, which were needed for use outside. So having it on the benches wasn't too practical, and we needed a table, so we built the table. And we added this second section over here. Then we also changed the configuration. The inner track, which initially was a continuous turn, as I mentioned, it just kept turning tighter all the time, was converted to a standard loop. Changed quite a bit since then. Now I have a much larger setup. I have, as you can see over here, I have dual slip switch setups here. Well, not dual slip switches, but I have several crossovers that run the trains back and forth out of the loops. The yard has been built. The yard didn't exist originally. You will notice that I have messed around with a lot of the buildings. There are a lot of them that are out of shape, and there's a lot of stuff laying around. That's because I've been doing work, including this little expansion over here. I now have an industrial branch that services a clock factory so far. Might expand this further over to the wall, all the way to the other end of the wall over here, as soon as I can get more of this stuff cleaned out. Reason for all this stuff here is because, unfortunately, my grandmother passed away about a year or two ago, in fact about 2 years now. And, well, when that happened, we really weren't ready for it, and we essentially inherited, not that anyone is ever ready for it, and we essentially inherited all of her stuff, and didn't have time to really go through it and decide what we wanted and what we didn't want, so it all wound up down here, and I'm now competing for space with it. So, it's been quite tricky in that regard.